Namaste to all and warm welcome to all of you to the Dhyuthi. So it's very happy to see all of you in this single screen, and hope you all are safe and take care of your health. On the behalf of Dhanvantari Jayanti, we are celebrating as Ayurveda Day. And we'll start with the Dhanvantari prayer. We all wish his blessings for a prosperous and healthy life.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामयविनाशाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णुमः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
So, in this webinar, we just want to refresh you with some of Ayurveda knowledge, which helps to give a healthy life. And we know Ayurveda is like a healing science. So here we are presenting 3 different topics, which helps to improve our health. Some of you know about other faculties also. I just want to introduce our co-speakers, Dr. Sharat Shankar. He's a senior faculty in our academy. Many of you are known to him, but some students might be not that much aware. And the other one is Dr. Anmol P. Andappan. She's also the senior faculty in KAA Academy. So she also used to take sessions with us. So I invite all of you to this great session. So today, in this webinar, first of all, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself, Dr. Dhanya, and most of you are knowing me. For some of you, I had taken decisions also, so that's why I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce. Today, so we are starting with disciplining our life with a daily routine. So we'll go through how we can how we can manage a healthy life with Ayurveda. We all know Ayurveda is an art and it's a science of healing. Moreover, we can tell it's our lifestyle and it is inherent in our blood itself. So when we talk about the lifestyle means it's a character of bundle of behaviors. It makes sense to both as well as to others. Means in the given time as well as in the given spaces. Means it includes like specific relations, social relations, conceptions, and entertainment, many things, isn't it? So Ayurveda has explained about this lifestyle. It emphasizes adopting a preventive lifestyle from our childhood itself. So it mainly includes daily regimen, seasonal regimens, and food habits, etc. So the major benefits of using these regimens or using these preventive aspects is to like balance our 3 doshas, that's the body humors, and balancing our saptathadus or the 7 tissues, and Agni, that's our biofire, and also the waste products. So we know all this are which helps to maintain a healthy body life. And also, we know like maintaining the enthusiastic mind, soul, as well as the sensory organs, also very much important to maintain a healthy life. So when we go through these kinds of preventative lifestyle, we can see these are majorly supporting us to maintain a healthy life. So when we go through the lifestyle, so Ayurveda promotes a lifestyle that's which is very much related with our nature. So it advises like early morning wake up. So in Ayurveda, it has mentioned that we have to wake up in the Brahma Muhurta. So it has to, just like maybe 1.5 hours before sunrises or something. So that can be considered as the Brahma Muhurta. We have to wake up in Brahma Muhurta. And this Brahma Muhurta is very much important time. And that means all our sensory organs and all our senses and central nervous system all are very keen and very active in that time. So waking up that time will give more energy and more positive vibes. So that's why it's better to wake up in the early morning, and then later you can go ahead with drinking of some normal water that helps to cleanses your GI tract, and it promotes your appetite, and also it is very good for normalizing your digestive functions. Then after that, you can go ahead with your body calls, natural urges. So once you had cleansed, you can start with cleansing of your different body parts. So we can start with brushing off our teeth, brushing off the teeth, cleansing of gum, cleansing of the tongue. These are very important. So when we go through each stuff, we can see all this are mainly mentioning to balancing the dosha level as well as the dhatu level. So, and also when we go through the brushing the teeth, etc., it has mentioned it has to be done with some specific herbal tweaks, which is very good for pacifying kapha and balancing vata and pitta. So just like the tips of mango or tips of khatira, etc., has explained to brushing the teeth. And then cleansing of the tongue, or like a jihva nirlekhana, we can use some metals, etc. So maybe we can see this will help to enhances your appetite and improve the taste, and that will very effective for maintaining a proper digestion function or metabolism. And then afterwards, you can start with cleansing your eyes. You can use normal water to wash your eyes, and you can, and also we can use some medicated collyriums or the anjanas to apply inside the eyes to improve your vision as well as improve the power of your eye. So that helps to improve the sense of vision. Then later on, we can go ahead with nasya. We all know nose is the door of our brain. So cleansing of the upper part, we can start from the nose itself. So that's why we can go ahead with nasya. So just like drip 1 or 2 drops of oil into the nostrils. So that we know, like when this 1 or 2 drops of oil are entering into the nostril, it will be directly reaching our brain or the central nervous system, and it helps to cleanses the channels. So in that way, it will help to stimulate all of our sensory function, because our sense organs will be getting more strength, and that helps to improve or the strengthen your sense organs. And also it helps to improve your memory power, and it is very, very effective for all like all the sensory functions, and also it gives more longevity. Then later on, you can go ahead with the oil pulling. You know, oil pulling is very common nowadays, isn't it? Gandusha, and Ayurveda we call it as Gandusha. Just like keeping medicated oils or some medicated liquids inside the mouth for a while. So when you keep this oils or the medicated liquids inside the mouth for a time being, it helps to strengthen your teeth, and remove the bad smells and bad odors, bad teas, etc. And in other way, it helps to improve the digestive fire also. So the appetite can also increase with the help of this Gandusha. And one more important thing is it helps to strengthen your cheek muscles. It will give a good smile in your face. Okay. So later on, you can go ahead with Dhumapana. It's a herbal cigars. It's not like a smoking. It's a usual smoking, but rather than we'll be inhaling the medicated smoke. Yeah, actually, we will be inhaling the medicated smoke through the nostril and exhaling through the mouth. So when you do in this way, it helps to cleanses your channels. All the internal channels will be cleansing. So that will help to improve the olfactory functions, or the smell perception will be enhancing. And also at the same time, it is very benefit for the upper respiratory tract. Or and also it helps to cleanses the central nervous system, means cleanses the channels also. Okay. So later on, we can go ahead with the oil massage. Oil massage means just smearing the oil all over the body. And the oil application of oil over the body is very much important to balance Vata dosha. Vata is one of the important humor among the three, which controls all the mobile functions of our body. So to balance Vata, oil massage is one of the wonderful things. So just to smear the oil over the body and give a gentle massage. But we know now, means in this fast life, we don't have that much time to spend the oil massage extra. But see, what you can do is, if you doesn't have the time in CV, what you can do is you can apply the oil in some of the important parts, like in the brahma or in the ears or in the foods, etc. So that is also act as a preventative measure to balance your vata. So after this oil massage, so when you do this oil massage, it helps to improve the texture of your skin, and it helps to improve the mobility of your joints, and it gives good strength to your bones and muscles, and it improves your appetite, and it gives good sleep to you. So in many ways, it is effective to maintain a health. And also after this oil massage, you can go ahead with Vyayama, or the exercise. Exercise is also very much important. It's very, very essential to balance the proper metabolism. It gives strength to your bones and muscles. And also it clears the channels. All the channels can be cleansed with the help of the exercise. But see, the exercise, that's also very much important. How much time we are spending for the exercise is also very much important. So always, excessive exercise is not at all good for your body. It can create very harm result to your health also. So depends upon our stamina, or depends upon our strength, we have to do the exercises. And that will help to mobilize your joints, and that helps to improve your metabolism, especially the fat metabolism. So just like any kind of bodily activities which create sweat in your body can be considered as exercise. So it can be a mild exercise or a moderate exercise, but don't go ahead with an excessive exercise. Okay. Then after the exercise, you can go ahead with showering, snana, bathing. So just to cleanse your body, external cleansing. It's an external purificatory procedure which helps to cleanse the skin. And it improves the enthusiasm, strength, appetite, and also it helps to improve the longevity or the lifespan. So, and also when we do the bathing, for body, it's better to use the lukewarm water, and for the head, we can use the normal temperature water. But in case if you are using the hot waters to the head shower, surely it is not good for your eyes as well as hairs. It can create hair falls and it can reduces your visual power, etc. So that's why the normal room temperature water is more beneficial for the head shower. So after the shower, you can wear the clothings. And also, for some of the important thing is one should have regular hair cuttings, nail cuttings, means proper maintaining of a hygiene. That's very much important. And later you can go ahead with ahara. So always ahara or the diet. So always one should eat according to the strength of their digestive fire. And one of our speaker is explaining more about the dietetic regimen and how to eat, what to eat extra. So here I'm not going much about the food and much about the thing. And the other one important pillar of our life is sleep. So we have to maintain a proper sleep. That's also very much important to maintain a healthy life. So minimum of 5 hours. That's very much important. And also some important factors are day sleeping. Sleeping during the daytime, that is not good for your health. And also in the same way, night awakening during the night time. Normally, when you are not sleeping the night time, surely that will increases your vata, and that can leading to many kind of disease in your body. So that's why the proper sleeping in the proper time, that is very much important. And see, nowadays we can see some persons they are of nature or due to some other reasons, they are not able to sleep during the night time. So he is missing his sleep, isn't it? So in such cases, how much time he had missed? Half of that time he should sleep in the daytime, but always before food. Should not sleep after food. Always you have to sleep before food. And one other important thing is don't suppress your natural urges. Always you have to listen to your body cause and should not suppress your natural urges. So if you are following these kinds of a routine, that surely will have to balance the dosha, dhatus, etc. and it can give a healthy life. So the physical and mental code of conduct, that's very much important. And also we have to maintain a personal as well as a social harmony. So the proper sleep and proper food or a wholesome diet, that is very much important. And one of the other important factor is control over your senses. You have to have a good control over your senses. So always it's better to give more priority to dharma, right behavior, acceptance of the reality, acceptance of the truth, etc. is very much important. So more dharma and moderate artha. Artha is wealth. So moderate artha, moderate wealth, and least kama. Kama is the desire or the luster. So moderate artha, moderate wealth, and as well as the least desire. So that will give a healthy mind and healthy body. So always a wise being should protect his health, just like how a king take care of his kingdom. So here, adopt Ayurveda, let nature nourish you for a healthy today and a healthier tomorrow. So thank you, and let's Lord Dhanvantari to shower all the blessings for your prosperous health. So thank you, one and all. And let me invite Dr. Sharad to give a small talk on how to tackle the seasons. Dr. Sharad?
Namaste, doctor. Am I audible?
Yes, doctor, please carry on.
Okay, so I think we can start off then. So, Namaste, I'm Dr. Sharath. So, if we just briefly discussing about these concepts, okay, and the seasonal aspect, okay, because we know that there are multiple seasons, and each season has an in-depth understanding in it. So, we will not be going into those aspects. We will just brush about, or we will just look at a glance through what the aspect of seasons are, or why is seasonal regimens considered important. So already Dr. Danya has mentioned about the daily regimens and the different aspects of the daily regimens which you follow, which is to maintain your health. Okay. But at the same time, seasonal regimens is another thing that you have to follow. Why? Because if you look at the day, in the morning, in the noon, in the night time, so in the day and night time itself, the doshas are varying. Doshas are not same. That is, the degree of influence of dosha is not same in every time of the day and night. So even in day and night, where the changes are more subtle, like even the daytime, okay, in the morning, in the noon, towards the evening, the changes are not that drastic. In the nighttime, in a way, you can say there is no sunlight. But in the nighttime itself, the night is again divided into three: the early night, the mid, and the late night. So there also you can't see much of any drastic variations there. But even without such a drastic variation, you will see that the doshas are varying. So in seasons, you can actually see a drastic variation. In summer, it is too hot. In the winter season, there is either too so much snow is there, depending on which part of the world you are from. Or if you come to like India and southern parts of India, there is no snow. But the temperature gradient comes down, the temperature reduced. So there's a drastic change. So if the difference in the degree of sunlight available is able to change the aspect of the dosha in the day and night, obviously in the seasons this effect will also be present. So in each season, we are not going with the different seasons as such. I will just name the seasons, then we will just look at that in a, what do you say, in a simplest way. So if you're looking at the seasons, according to Ayurveda, we say there are 6 seasons. It starts with the late winter, then there's a spring, then there is a summer, then comes the rainy season, then comes the autumn season, and at last is the early winter. So this is how the acharyas have mentioned about the seasons. So in general, we can consider seasons that you can club the 2 winters together, and you can consider there are 5 seasons in together. Okay, for our understanding. So there is winter, there is the spring, there is the summer season, there is the rainy season, there is the autumn season, and the autumn season. So basically 5 seasons. So what is happening is in each of these seasons, the environment is different. You can see that. Okay, the wind feels different, the sun rays feels different. Sometimes when you go out in the summertime, the heat of the sun feels different from when you're going in the winter time or when it is a rainy season. There's a difference. Why? Because there's a difference in the humidity. Okay, there is a difference in the density of the air is there. There were fogging, etc. There are different factors which will lead to, if you scientifically speaking, it leads to refractions, reflection of the sunlight, etc. Different, even the UV rays, the other rays, infrared rays, etc. They, what do you say, refract at different levels. So basically, even if from a scientific point of view, also, that is from the current scientific point of view, also, you see that there are some variations that is happening. So when you come from the Ayurvedic point of view, why is seasonal regimens important? Is because since there is a change in the doshic dimensions, if you are following what you're following in day one till the last day of the year, that is, here there is 365 days in a year. So in that, all that days, every day, if you're following the same thing, that is the same food habit, the same diet, it cannot work. Why? Because your body is not in the same state every time. In each season, you are actually a new person. That is, when you are in the summer month, you are a particular guy. When you are in spring, you are some other different, you're a completely different person. So physically you are the same, but physiologically there is a difference. And of course, it can reflect in psychological dimension also, but let's say physiologically alone. Yeah. So what we want to do, we have to keep the balance of physiology. What is health? Health is when your physiology is remaining in a state of balance. So whatever you are doing in the previous time, if you do it in the next time also, it will not work. It is just like, see, if a person is doing the same activities, eating the same type of food, etc., what we are doing is, it's just like you are buying, let's say that a shirt, okay, which is of medium size, which fits an adult. You're buying the same shirt for a child, the same child for a woman, for a teenager, for a really short person. So you're taking the same shirt and you're trying to fit it to every individual. It's not possible. What you if you want to have a proper shirt, it should be tailored to fit you, or you have to buy a particular shirt and again you have to tailor it to fit you, right? So in every season you are different. In every season there's a new you, and what you do for that you is important. And why this understanding is important is, today we have a lot of generalization. We say that eat this diet, you will be healthy. Eat this much calories of food, you will be healthy. Exercise for this much duration every day, you will be healthy. The problem with this aspect is, from the Ayurvedic point of view, this cannot be right because of many reasons. One of the reasons is season. Because when you say that eat this much amount of food, it will make you healthy, you are not the same person in every season. There are different yous in different seasons, or there's a different version of you in different seasons. So this is the main thing you should understand. This is the reason why seasonal regimens is important. And what is the main aspect here? What is the main importance here? Like, let's say that you are going with a healthy diet. Okay, the concept of healthy diet itself is wrong in many dimensions, because generalization of a diet makes it unhealthy from the Ayurvedic point of view. You cannot generalize the diet because it has to be individualized in some sense. There are some basic rules you have to follow, right? Because there are some constants. For example, I as a person, okay, or you compare me to another person, all of us are breathing to our nose. Our lungs is our organ of breath, breathing. Our heart is there, our liver is there. So it is not like in one person liver is doing the breathing, in another person the heart is doing the breathing. No, it's a constant. But we have a difference, like our heart rate is different, our pulse rate is different. It's not the same. You have an average, but it is not the same. And also, not just that, even if the size of organs are different, it's not the same. In every individual, the size, the weight of an organ, there's an approximation only. We cannot say that your one person's stomach is 10 kgs and another person's stomach is going to be 2 kgs and the person's stomach is going to be 5 kgs. No. So each and every organ has its own variation. It's not a constant. You cannot say that every person's organ is going to be 1 kg or 5 kg or 10 kg. It's a constant. Like that we cannot say. So such a variation is there. So there is something which is same or similar. To be more precise, it's better to use the word similar, because there's nothing that is exactly same. And psychologically also, we are our own, have our own different dimensions also. So all of these things has to be taken into consideration if you need to live a completely healthy life. Okay, but we are not going into the deeper dimensions of psychological dimensions, etc. Because why? Because see, psychological dimension happens in a plane of existence which is not physical. It happens in a non-physical plane of existence. So it is difficult to explain. You have no reference point anywhere. But physically, it's something that you can see, you can measure, you can appreciate. So the approach is more easier. So usually whenever you go with the aspect of Ayurveda, we start up with the physical plane and then we acknowledge the psychological plane, because psychological plane is completely different. But ultimately the thing is, if your mind, as if your body is not able to retain a state of health, it is really difficult to keep your mind in a state of health. So any variations that you're doing in your body will affect your mind also. So ultimately, following the proper regimens is influencing not just your physical health, your psychological well-being, your emotional well-being. And the problem is, if all the people in the world or majority of the people in the world are blindly following a diet, or regularly they are doing the same thing, what happens? It will generate a psychologically stressed society, because each and every individual is stressed. So the society is also going to be stressed also. So this is the reason why this seasonal regimens is important, especially today, because we eat the same type of food every day. We do the same amount of activity every day. We do not do anything to protect our body against the seasonal changes. So this is really, really important to understand. So when you talk about the aspect of the seasonal variations or seasonal changes, we have to adapt according to it. If not, the body will not function properly. Now, so what is the primary thing you have to look into? Okay, whenever you think about any season, there are some basic aspects you have to look into. The first thing is, what is the amount of energy that I have in that season? So compared to any other season, whether my energy is more, whether my energy is less. So first and foremost, you have to understand what is the amount of energy I have, because you should understand this energy is responsible for maintaining your life. So if you are utilizing this energy improperly, it will cause a problem. For example, you are having your smartphone with you. There's just 10% charge in your smartphone, and you're traveling somewhere. Okay, it's a new place. You do not know where you're going. Okay, you're not gone there anywhere. So if you want to go there, and after that, if you want to contact someone, you have to keep this charge on smartphone preserved. You have to keep it in a battery saver mode or something. If like you are not looking into it and you're just playing with your smartphone and it gets switched off, what happens? When you get there, it will be really difficult for you to find the place or to find the guy or the person you are supposed to meet. The same way, the body, you have to first understand the amount of energy. Then only you will know how much amount of activity I am capable of doing. Second thing is the strength of the fire. The strength of the fire you have to know. Because without understanding the strength of the fire or the nature of the fire, you cannot say how much I can consume, how much I can eat. Because the amount of fire tells you how much you can eat, and that tells you how much energy you can replenish. So these are interconnected, right? Because the amount of food is what gives you the fuel for the body, the energy to the body. So you have to look at the strength or the energy you inherently have. The second aspect you have to look into is the amount of food you can consume, that is the digestive fire. The third thing, what is the third thing? The dosha influence in a particular season. Whether it is an individual dosha which is more predominant, whether it's a combination which is more predominant, or what is the state of the doshas in that season. These three things you have to look into. Because according to Ayurveda, the what is healthy? Doing something which is opposite to the character of a dosha is what keeps that dosha balanced. So that does that mean that every time you have to do something opposite to a dosha? No, that is not the idea here. When you look at a season, in each season, if you understand which dosha is predominant, you will have to do things which does not increase the dosha. That is the same characters of the dosha you should not utilize. For example, in the spring season, it is the kapha time. It's the time of kapha. So kapha is the most active dosha in the spring season. And you can see this today also. Most of the people get respiratory allergies during the spring season compared to any other season. Okay. According to our current understanding, what we say is because of the lot of pollen. Okay. But the problem is, the question is, if the pollen is able to cause respiratory allergy, why isn't it causing it in every single individual? It's because it's whatever effect is happening is because of that external factor and the interaction with the body. So if the body is more sensitive, the interaction is becoming more sensitive. That is the idea. Okay. So this is what you have to always remember. So basically, in the spring season, the kapha is active, was strongly present. So in that time, you should not do kapha increasing things. You should do things which is decreasing kapha dosha, so that you can balance kapha. This is the idea. So you have to prevent from taking kapha increasing substances and reduce or utilize things which is or practices to control the kapha. You should always understand it is never about decreasing kapha. Kapha decreasing a dosha only comes when there is a pathology. When you talk about health, never use the word I have to decrease my vata, decrease my kapha. No, it's always to protect my vata or to protect my kapha or to protect my pitta or to prevent its increase or to control it or to keep it balanced. Whenever you're talking about a pathology only, you will say that this medicine you're utilizing to decrease this dosha. So understand that also clearly. Okay. So this is the one, these are things you have to keep in mind. Okay. See, I'm just going with the most important concepts because again, if you need to talk about more clearly, you have to go to each and every season. Okay, it's just a recap. So this is the primary thing you should remember. So if you know this, if you use this concept, after that, every seasons it is easy to understand. What's the next thing? Next thing is the food aspect. By understanding the fire, you will know that how much amount of food you can take. The quantity of food. By understanding the fire, you can understand what quantity of food you can take. By understanding the dosha involved, you will understand what quality of food you can take. So if it's a kapha time, you can't take too much of oily, fatty, too much of sweet, too much of watery, too much of unctuous food materials. So by understanding the dosha, you will know what you can consume in the qualitative level. And by understanding the fire, you will understand how much dosha, what you can consume in a quantitative level. So the quantity of the dosha, the quantity of the food you can consume and the quality of the food you can consume, you will be able to ascertain. Now, next is I told you about the strength. Now, why is the strength important? The strength tells you how much amount of effect or how much amount of effort you can put. So if you have more strength, you can do more activity. Less strength, you can do less activity. That's it. So these are the basic concept you should always keep in mind. Other things we know, many of the things we know, but this basic concept, if you do not see this concept, just reading the aspect, etc., of the seasons, it will not be enough. Okay. There's just one more point. After that, I can conclude this. That is, I told you about strength, and the example of that is there. That is, if you look at the winter season, the winter season is when you have the maximum strength. Because of accumulative factors, you have the maximum strength in the winter season. Okay, I'm talking about your energy level strength at that aspect. So in the winter season, you have maximum strength. So you can exercise or you can do more activities in the winter season because you have more energy to spend. If you need to spend $100, you should at least have $100 with you. If you have only $50 with you, you cannot spend $100. You need $100. In one way or the other, you need that money, right? Just like that. Similarly, if you look at the spring season and the autumn season, you have lesser energy compared to the winter season. That is, you have the moderate amount of energy in the spring and the autumn season. So you cannot do the same amount of exercises or activities you did. Okay. So please again understand, don't measure the activities only based on the time. It also depends on the amount, the stress of activity. For example, you are walking for 1 hour is not the same as you're running for 1 hour. That also you have to understand. Okay. You have to think about the amount of energy you're spending for in a particular time period. Also, you have to consider. And the next aspect is you have the minimum strength in the rainy and in the summer season. So in this time, you generally say that don't go for any exercises. Why? Because whatever energy you have is required to retain your life, to keep you healthy. So if you spend this energy unwantedly, there is no reason for you to spend this energy. So if you're spending this energy unwantedly, what happens? There will be less energy to sustain your health and life. Okay. So these are the basic aspects. So this is the overall most important concepts when it comes to the seasons. Because usually whenever you took into the seasonal regimens, we are clouded with all those lot of informations about each season. But this is the basic principle. If you are able to understand each season by following these ideas, the understanding is completed. That's the main principle. Okay. So that is the main aspect about the seasonal regimens. Okay. I know it is not elaborate. It is quite a small or concise explanation. Okay, because just you know we're just brushing up the things you already know. Okay, it's nothing new to you guys. So I think that's it. So I'm concluding my talk on the seasonal regimens. So namaste. So I think next Dr. Animal will be starting it. So I'm concluding my session. Okay, namaste.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sharad. And I'm just inviting Dr. Anu to continue the session.
So thank you, Dr. Dhanya, for inviting me. So namaste all. And first of all, happy Dhanvantari Jayanti, that the Lord Dhanvantari bless us with sound health and healing. So we can just refresh Ayurvedic diet. I know it's not an easy task to discuss about Ayurvedic diet in 10 minutes. It's a Himalayan task. So whatever courses you you might have been with us. It could be nutrition or beauty therapy or massage therapy. And you might have got at least 1 or 2 sessions with Ayurvedic diet. The basic principles. So we can just refresh a very few points. Because this is an era of customization. Yeah, it's more about wedding customization, birthday customization, cake customization. In the same way, even in Ayurveda, which has a holistic approach, we again follow a customization, a personalization. So when you just Google the website about Ayurvedic diet, whatever may be the website you are searching, you will always find one statement as an ancient Ayurvedic proverb. When diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. And when diet is correct, medicine is of no need. This is a very ancient Ayurvedic proverb which indicates the importance of having a healthy diet. Even when we look into the words of Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, he also discussed the same. Let food be thy medicine, food be your medicine. And I'm so happy that at least in this area of having a healthy diet, there's no contradiction or confusion between the age-old Ayurveda and in the modern medicine. Having a healthy diet is definitely the most important criteria of having a healthiness, having a healthy, happy life. Because it's the only way we become free from diseases, free from all diseases, is to indulge in healthy daily activities and a healthy food. So as I said, it is not an easy task to explain the important rules of Ayurvedic diet in 10 minutes. So we can just discuss a very few points on what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat. So first point, what to eat. If you have just look to the books of Ayurveda like Ashtanga Hridaya, or you might have the classes with us with Ayurvedic diet, you might have learned a lot about Ayurvedic properties of each food groups, about the properties of apple, about the properties of banana, or properties of whole grains, or the pulses. So again, when you look to the Ayurvedic books, you will not get all the details because it's more limited to Indian continent. So if you ask me about the Ayurvedic properties about zucchini or avocado that you get from Ayurvedic text, it is nil. There's no reference on it. So basically, in an Ayurvedic diet, for a beginner, when you begin with an Ayurvedic diet, the first thing what we can apply to have a healthy diet is to follow all the tastes, to include all the 6 tastes in every meal. So you might know the taste: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, astringent, pungent, spiciness. So even though you don't know what are the properties of each kind of food, at least try to include. It could be your breakfast, lunch, or the dinner. Try to include all the 6 tastes together, because each taste has its own importance, starting with sweetness. Sweetness is the best nourisher, the best strengthener. No other taste can strengthen you, nourish you like sweet. When we discuss about sourness, one of the best cleanser, we know in every face washes, every soaps, dishwashers, you can find the presence of lemon. Sourness, it's always a good cleanser, a good purifier. And we always say a food without salt is actually waste, because saltiness always elevates the taste and balances the taste. At the same time, it's a good regulatory one. Saltiness regulates everything in your nutrition. It could be your digestion or the metabolism or absorption. A faster absorption is always possible with the presence of salt. Or even fast spreading, easy spreading of nutrition all around you. So salt is also important. Bitterness, even though not at all tasty, but still we ask you to include bitterness in your diet, because it's more about detoxifying, mineralizing, and also a good cleanser, moreover a blood purifier. The best taste, which is blood purifying nature, is bitterness. Again, going to astringent, very difficult to swallow. It is not easy to swallow an astringent tasting food. But still we recommend, because the best anti-inflammatory, which can reduce most of your inflammations and more of a cooling, which brings about a cooling effect on your body. Astringency, spiciness, warming, stimulating you. The best taste for stimulating your system is pungency, spiciness. So when you try to include all the 6 tastes in your diet, you're actually getting the whole benefits. So then focusing on each food items like an apple or an orange or a spice or a meat, just try to follow all 6 tastes in every meal. Along with that, try to understand your prakriti. Because according to Ayurveda, selecting the foods is always based on the dosha type. Prakriti is the best guide to personalize a diet, to customize a diet. You should know about yourself. Who are you? Because each food in each person can act differently. So know your dosha type, your prakriti, but not just your prakriti, the present situation. You just discussed with the season. In each season, your strength, your digestive strength, the dosha aggravation is different. So not just your prakriti, your present condition. It could be the seasons. Or it could be your disease. You could be diabetic. You will have an hypertension or hypotension. So based on each of your condition or the health, you should choose accordingly. You're thinking that I am a Vata Prakriti, sweet is good for me, but when I'm diabetic, I should choose something sweet which is not kapha increasing, at the same time keep my Vata in balance. So it is not just your Prakriti, your disease, your season, or even your age. When you're a child, when you're old, in youth, again, there could be some differences. You're thinking that in old age, Vata is up in me. I cannot use all the anxious, all the oily foods. I should have much more soft, fresh, easily digestible. Even though you're a Pitta Prakriti, even though you're a Kapha Prakriti, you should also focus on your age. In which age you are. So what to eat depends on your present condition. Yeah, I cannot say a single diet. I cannot prescribe each one of you with a single diet, because it's more about customizing your diet based on your Prakriti, your condition, season, age. But the only thing which you can focus on, which you can keep an eye on, including all the 6 things equally in your food, in every meal times. This is the first thing about what to eat. And one more thing to include, try to include whole foods, then refined food items. Include whole, fresh foods, like whole grains. Because when you refine, when you polish it, you are actually eliminating some of the most important things you need in that food. So include all the whole food, like whole grain. And more about freshness. Rather than eat old, refrigerated, recooked, reheated foods, try to always cook with whole grains and have it fresh with some warmth. When including cold items, of course, as per the modern lifestyle, in the busy life, it's not an easy to include these principle of freshness. But at least most of the times, you should try to include more freshly cooked and warm foods. Now, when to eat? Yeah, so because nowadays, when you look again to nutrition websites or vloggers, you could find eat in every 3 hours or eat in every 2 hours. But there's no such rule in Ayurveda about this time limit of 3 or 2 hours. The basic rule of Ayurvedic diet, eat when you are hungry. Your hunger level, your hunger and thirst is the criteria of having diet in or having food in Ayurveda. You should be hungry, you should be thirsty, and you should feel an body lightness. If you're feeling heavy, just give some time for the body, or drink some herbal teas, which makes you light. And then when you have a good hunger and thirst, have your food. So whenever you feel hungry, you can have food, but not full until you feel satisfied. It's all about hunger satisfaction. Because again, in the present era, you can find calorie counting as a part of weight loss management, as a part of nutrition. It's all about calculating how much calories or how much grams I can have in my diet. Again, there's no such rule in Ayurveda about calorie counting. It's all about getting satisfied from your hunger. You start your food. Once you feel your hunger is completely satisfied, stop eating. Never try to make your stomach completely full, because it's always end up in indigestion and a difficult digestive part. So eat until you feel completely satisfied. So again, this is an answer for how much to eat and when to eat. Eat when you are hungry. So definitely sometimes you will feel a midnight craving. So according to Ayurveda, late night dining or late night food is contraindicated. But now I told you, eat when you are hungry. Definitely the general rule is eat when you are hungry. So if you're feeling intensively hungry at night, of course you should eat. And that is the reason why the first session you have disciplining your life, your daily life. Because if you're disciplined, definitely you can avoid all the kind of untimely hunger, like midnight cravings. If you're having a diet in a proper way, in a disciplined way, definitely you can definitely avoid all the kinds of untimely hunger and thereby avoiding untimely food. And at least make sure that whatever you had before is digested before you start with the next food. You had your breakfast. If you want to have the next set of food, just make sure that your food which you had for the breakfast is completely digested. You are feeling hungry, then you have the next food. There is no recommendation of brunch between the lunch and the breakfast. But if you feel hungry, definitely you can have. Just make sure that the food what you have had for the breakfast is digested. The same thing at night. Just make sure that your food is getting digested before you sleep. Avoid sleeping soon after having your diet. Give some time until you feel lightness. Because after having food, kapha is increasing in your body, you feel a heaviness. So just wait until all the heaviness has been moved and you feel the lightness. At that time, you can have your sleep or the next food if it is in the daytime. Basically, simpler words, the whole Ayurvedic rule of diet, I can just compress with a single statement. Avoid virudahara. Avoid incompatibility. It is not just some food combination. When I say virudahara or incompatible food, it's not just some wrong combination. Just like we discussed honey and hot water. It's a wrong combination. So when I say virudahara, it is not just some wrong combination. Anything you do bad for the body comes under incompatibility, virudahara. You have a kapha aggravation right now, but still you are eating oily food. It is a virudahara. It's an incompatibility. You just discussed about spring season where you have a kapha aggravation, but still you are eating oily, anxious, heavy foods. It's an incompatibility. So know your body and eat accordingly and avoid all such incompatible foods from your life. This is the best way to keep an healthy diet according to Ayurveda. It's all about knowing yourself. So in all my classes with diet, I used to say, treat your body as your baby. How a mother takes care of her baby. About disciplining your life, we discussed about sensing your seasons. So you just learned it right now. It's not about starting the next day. I'm starting all the daily life activities. I'm sensing all my seasons. Give the body enough time. You will never teach a child within a day. But the same thing. You need time. In the same way, the body needs time. When you jump from one season to the other season, again, the body needs time from the transition from one food to the other food. In each of your baby's stages, teething time, there is some specific food items included. A milk time, solid foods. In the same way, if you know as your baby, you can just sense what the body needs. Just like the baby, the body also has mood swings. Even though you're a kapha prakriti or a vata prakriti, sometimes the body goes through some kind of mood swings. So try to understand your body. Yeah. Learn how was your baby and learn how to treat your baby. In the same way, learn about your body and how to treat it. This is basically all about Ayurvedic diet. And definitely we will discuss about the Trayobastambha. Trayobastambha means three supporting pillars of your life. The three things which supports life completely according to Ayurveda. The three are food, sleep, and a regulated sex life. Having a proper diet, having a proper sleep, and having a regulated sex style. It's a three-way to keep a balanced dosha, a balanced fire, and thereby keeping a healthy life. So these are the basic rules about diet. This is not the end. Yeah, we have a lot of factors affecting your life, a lot of other rules and regulations. But the very basic ideas about Ayurvedic diet is about what to eat, when to eat, and how much. So that's all about Ayurveda and Ayurvedic diet, because this year, as a part of National Ayurvedic Day, the theme for the present year is Ayurveda for Portion, Ayurveda for Nutrition. Because in this present current epidemic, we have a condition of COVID-19. In this present time also, diet is the most important, because it's not about healing or not about treating, it's more about prevention. The best time and the best way is to have a healthy diet. Again, each person, when you look for prevention about COVID-19, you can find a lot of recipes in the websites, in the vloggers, but again, it's all about customization. I never say everybody to drink dry ginger tea or a black pepper tea for preventing or improving your immunity, because each person is different. You should follow each kind of recipe depending on your life, depending on your prakriti. So diet is definitely the most important thing from the past, present, and in the future, because everything begins and ends in food. It could be a season, it could be a day, it could be the whole life. The basic thing is to have a healthy diet. So that's all about designing a healthy diet according to Ayurveda. Thank you so much. And I'm very happy to see you all again, because most of your names, most of your faces are quite familiar to me. So maybe the next time, maybe the next year of Dhanvantari Jayanti, I wish we could meet in person. And we can wish everybody to have a speedy recovery from the present pandemic of COVID-19. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Anu, for the wonderful speech. And so I hope you all have enjoyed this a short webinar session. And thank you, all of you. And we are just winding up the session. And if you have some doubts or something, surely you can mail to us. We will be always there to support you guys. In future also, we will try to arrange these kinds of short webinars to refresh your mind and knowledge. So thank you one and all. Have a nice day, and I'm wishing all of you a good Ayurveda day and a good Dhanvantari Jayanti with all the prosperous life. Thank you.